First strike skill crits high health enemies. Second strike skill crits low health enemy. I'm going to take it. The question is when. Hey everybody, I'm Griffin here and welcome back to Rogue Legacy 2. Okay, I think our volume's actually running a little high. Just looking at the waveforms. This is how much I turn shit down. Like, my ears would be exploding. Oh, wait, did I thought I spent all this money. Did I just not? I definitely think I did. I think I'm gonna spend it differently this time around, though. Let's see, we have 2,000 gold. Currently using the gilded helm. Just trying to spend money. I have to remember how to play this. So the dumb part is that I really gated myself in an obnoxious manner. Because I did in fact make both the first and second bosses more difficult. Well, I think I might be able to do the second boss. I think the first boss is hard, like so hard. What the hell is that popping sound? Was that me? There was a popping sound and I think it was me. Oh, sorry, I know it was my computer, but I mean not the game, which means that it probably was recorded, and I apologize if that's... Oh, that's like a Facebook notification, isn't it? Why do I... Oh, okay, never mind. Alright, yeah, that was entirely on me. I apologize. Okay, I need to not keep finding those. Yep. That's me giving feedback. Wow, I actually stopped that. I was giving feedback to Photoshop because they made some changes to their product recently that caused issues for me. And when I say issues, I mean like it just basically meant that everything that I do was going to take like an extra 10 seconds. And while that seems minimal, when I say everything I do mean like everything that I do. Because most of what I'm doing is editing thumbnails. Oh, right, I can't dash through that. Editing thumbnails, turns out, is something that... It doesn't take a lot of time. I feel like I should qualify that. Like, normally it doesn't take very long. The initial creation of a thumbnail takes time. Like, a good bit of time, depending on how in-depth I want to be with it. So like Rogue Legacy, the thumbnail for this video really isn't that bad. It did have one big cost. And that was effectively like the text. So usually, you know, I grab from the internet, you know, a logo, right? Just like a logo. So much damage. Game. I take a logo. Jesus, Doombuses are really obnoxious for me, aren't they? A logo from the game. It could be a marketing logo. It could be, you know, directly from like a title screen, but usually it's off of Google Images. I don't feel bad doing that because generally it's like I'm not taking anybody's custom artwork for the game. Like I specifically am not doing that. I need to leave. Like, I'm very specifically not taking artwork, like people's artwork, custom artwork, because that'd be bad. I'm not taking anybody's hard work, any individual's hard work. I am technically taking the company's hard work, which is their logo, but also that's to accurately represent the game. I suppose that arguments. Wow, I didn't expect that to kill me. I figured I would get hit, but I didn't think I would die. We did not get very much done there. I'm assuming masochism means I take extra damage. I'm taking the knight because I need to clear stuff. I need to win fights, and knights are how I do that generally. That's some efficient purchasing power. But yeah, the taking other people's hard work, if it was like fan art, that would be bad. That'd be shitty. But I'm taking the company's art so that I can accurately represent the game in the thumbnail, so you know what you're getting. I know what I'm giving you. Like, basically, it's good advertising, right? You look at this and you know I'm giving you Rogue Legacy 2 because that is what the logo says. Because basically, for them. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember. What door games? Shit, I'm really bad at this. Is it closed door games? I feel like I should know this. For the company, you watching me play their game is good for them. I know it sounds shitty because, like, exposure, but exposure for video games is, like, actually a thing. Like, obviously it's not good if you pirate the game. But, I mean, ideally, like, you could do that anyway, whether or not I told you about the game. Ow, that was a ton of damage. Oh, bullshit. Well, I need to leave now and heal. Because if you like seeing somebody play a game, so there are some games that honestly, I can see them trying to prevent people from streaming. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, I think, which one is it? House of Ashes, a game that I literally just streamed. If they said on the game that they did not want you streaming it, honestly, I would entirely understand. It's a game that's about making choices. Oh, you almost. It's a game about making choices, and there's a story to it. And if you were to stream it, you could hypothetically I think poison's really good, actually, for bosses. So, I'm gonna talk with you. Truth can be misleading. Cool. I've forgotten so much of the story in this game. But, like, if you watch somebody play that game, you may not want to play it. Now, I think there's an argument to be made that watching somebody play that game makes you want to play it because you want to make better decisions than them. But hypothetically, if they made all the decisions that you made, or that you would make, you wouldn't need to play the game. And this comes back to copyright law. So copyright law gets a lot of flack, and rightfully so, to a lot of degrees. But copyright law has purpose. And I don't think I'm going to get too much flack for this, but I think it's relevant. Copyright law exists to protect the creator of work. Damn it. So if you do work, if you spend a whole bunch of time making something, and making something that you've, you know, potentially poured your heart and soul into, you don't want somebody just taking it. For multiple reasons. One, because that would feel bad. Like, somebody, like, stealing your work feels really bad. I haven't had it happen, because what I make isn't good enough. But, like, copyright as a whole has good purpose. Because, yeah, if you steal somebody's game, somebody's creation, you should not be able to profit off of it. And depending on to what degree you stole it... Oh, whoops. So, if we're talking, like, you know, stole your idea, something like that, you know, games are a little bit harder. I think they haven't really been put to the test. There's a lot of games that share mechanics. Like, mechanics aren't novel, necessarily. It's like if somebody were to... Oh, gosh. Ah! If somebody were to try to copyright deck builder... Right, like, that'd be pretty bad, because you can do so much with the deck building mechanic in a game that is truly unique. Because the idea of copyright, and I keep coming back to this, because I feel like I'm not explaining it particularly well enough, it is to allow you... I really need to, like, actually have a full, good, like, definition written down. Like, a layman's definition as I wanted to say it. So copyright is basically, I made this. I have contributed something to society by making this. So perhaps that is, you know, writing a book. Perhaps that is, perhaps it is making a game. Perhaps it is writing music. Like, there's lots of things you can copyright. But that's the idea, is that you have, through their creation, contributed something to society. Oh, you son of a bitch. That curved to a degree I did not expect it to be able to. But you've contributed something to society. And you have spent time and effort creating that. So you need to have that creation protected for multiple... Oh, that's... First strike skill crits high health enemies. Second strike skill crits low health enemy. I'm going to take it. The question is when. I should just take it. It's Charon's Scythe. But yeah, so if you, as a creator, spend time on something... This is not a boss killing weapon. If you spend time and effort working on something, that you are literally spending like the sweat of your brow, the efforts of your hands, whatever of your mind, right? Like you are spending time, money, what you could be doing, what could be spent doing other things. I do not like that you move while doing this. We do have hypergonadism though, don't we? Did he die? I don't even know. But if you, as a creator, don't have your work protected so that you can profit off of it, you have significantly less incentive to do so. If you spend 100 days painting a piece of art, let's say, it's a lot of time. That's 3 months plus working on a piece of art, and you want to sell that art to make up for the damage. You want to sell that art to make up for the time and effort that you spent on it. This is entirely reasonable, and in fact, how a lot of things work. Right, like that is an accepted way that we do things in society. Yep. I don't like the scythe. Which is unfortunate, because it's kind of cool. I like the mechanics. So if you spend all that time and effort making something, with the assumption that you will be able to sell it later, or even prints of it, right? Like, you could keep the original and just sell prints, if that's like... Yeah, okay. It was interesting, but yeah, the scythe killed me. I ran into like 17 things trying to kill it with the scythe. And also I'm distracted by trying to explain this. I don't know how spending 50 mana grants charge. Oh, does that mean by doing it with... Sure, let's go with this. I keep getting distracted and losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, spending mana makes me do more damage. That's cool. Enemies barely flinch when hit. Cool. That's actually really good for us. This means we can spam click them, though we can't get them away from us, which is probably bad. Let's see what we can buy with our money. Cool, we only have 480 bucks. So yeah, if you are not given the ability to recuperate the effort that you have spent or like building this thing, if after that 100 days, you know, you go to keep to do the thing. Wow, those are really close. You go to sell it, but like somebody just takes one of your prints and starts reselling it as their own, which is a violation of copyright. Then you have lost you have lost the incentive to create entirely. Like, you have no reason to make anything, because anything that you make, anything that you spend time on, is basically no longer yours immediately. Which is bad. Like, that is just strictly bad. So that incentive of copyright is actually very important if you want anybody to make anything ever again. Like, it's actually incredibly important. Because why on earth would you spend 100 days creating this beautiful piece of art that only you could create? For whatever reason. Like, okay, I mean, saying only you... What the hell? Alright, I've made mistakes. Okay, I was not expecting that to hit like that. Man, that took some effort. So, by allowing somebody to just steal your work, effectively, you create a culture, a system where nobody is incentivized to create. And if people aren't creating, then people aren't innovating. Because, okay, you could make arguments about whether or not art is innovation. I would argue that it is. Because art is very subjective to begin with, but also, like, art... How do I describe it? Art is creative thinking. I almost got hit by it. Oh my god, there's so many mimics. But yeah, art is a way of thinking. But if we want to go with something more concrete, let's say like new processor architecture or something, right? Like whoops. You know, if you discovered new processor architecture, then, you know, if you come up with something that your processor does unique to everybody else. Ow. But everybody else can now just take your idea immediately, then guess what? Problems arise. Because you are not incentivized to innovate, because everybody else can take the effort that you had to spend to innovate and just make it theirs immediately. So, that's it. Not incentivized. To innovate. Which is bad. Like, that is just bad for everybody. We need innovation to improve technology, to get better, to have nicer things, etc., etc. But with... oh gosh. With content, it's a little bit... It's a little bit the same, a little bit different. Like, I would say it's mostly the same. You know, before people did React videos, nobody did React videos. Why did nobody do React videos? Because nobody had thought about it. Like, nobody had come up with that idea. Like, it had to be come up with before people started doing it and making money off of it. Now, they tried to copyright that, but again, there are limitations to what copyright can protect, right? Like, it's... oh gosh. It's sensical, but it's also... oh, okay, I need to leave. I'm performing that room very poorly. I didn't even see that arrow being fired. Like, I saw the archer there. I didn't see him draw the bow. Which is my bad. Nope. Perfectionist is horrible, and I wish I never... oh my gosh. I'm taking this just because I want to rank up on the armor. The armor percentage is just really good. Does this count for me? I'm gonna assume it does. So yeah, it's one of those things where copyright is important, It is perhaps a little silly, but that is for a different reason. And that different reason is large corporations. Well, I shouldn't say large corporations. It is Disney. Disney is to blame for why everything about copyright is as stupid as it is. And yeah, that sounds a little mean, but it's entirely fucking true. They have extended copyright protections to a degree that is ridiculous. So the whole idea of copyright is that you get to make profit, right? That is entirely the idea, is that you get to make profit off of your work. It incentivizes, so that way you can do it. Now, the thing is, they don't want you as a person, and when I say they, I mean like society as a whole. I don't think this is particularly rich people or anything like that, but like, ow. Oh my gosh, that's so unfortunate. But yeah. The idea behind copyright is not that you make one thing. Oh my god, I hate this character so much. It's not that you make one thing and live on it forever. If it's popular enough, you know, maybe that's okay. But the idea is that the time limit on a copyright is the amount of time... I was scratching my nose at that exact moment. Wow, I had to make all bad choices there. And I also need to leave this place. Probably. But yeah, you have a set amount of time to make profit on your work before it becomes what is known as public domain. So yeah, public domain is designed to do a couple things, or things being in the public domain is designed to do a couple things. But the first one, and the primary one, is to basically make it so that you can't just sit there and do nothing forever. Yikes. Because sitting there and doing nothing forever, because you've made one thing, is bad. From a societal standpoint. Now, from a personal standpoint, hell yeah. I would love to be able to just make one thing and never work again. Like, that'd be great, right? Like, that's a dream. If you know, make one piece of art, and it's the Mona Lisa. I mean, my understanding that the Mona Lisa, from an art perspective, isn't actually all that impressive. It just happened to become popular. I don't care. That's not for me to judge. I'm not a talented artist, nor an art critic. But the idea there is that, hey, guess what? If, let's say, Da Vinci only made one thing, and it got super popular, right? And he made a bunch of money. I mean, hopefully he likes what he's doing, and therefore will want to keep working, or want to keep creating more things. Like, ideally, right? That's what happens. Or he wants to do better for society, right? Like, if we're going back to the processor, you know, if some really smart dude makes a processor that's 10 times faster than all the processors we currently have, you know, why? That is a critical hit, not a skill crit, sadly. You know, oh Jesus, I do not like that room. But yeah, why would that person have any incentive to continue to create stuff beyond their own goodwill if they made all their, you know, if their one creation is copyrighted forever? So by things entering the public domain, it allows other people to use it to innovate further. Because ideally, let's say you do make the next processor that does everything 10 times faster, right? And so you sell a whole bunch of them, right? Like, because obviously a processor that's 10 times faster, but you know, for less than 10 times the cost, right? That would be the idea. Right, I forgot about that. I forgot I had a spell. But yeah, like, assuming that you were to do that, eventually that processor and what makes it important enters the public domain. You could still keep it a trade secret, but like, you know, let's just kind of talk here about. Ew, okay. So yeah, like, just assume that that is possible. I need to find a teleporter. But yeah, by entering the public domain, those things become public knowledge, and other people can do good things with them. And maybe make the processor that's 10 times faster than that using that same technology. That's good, right? That is good for society because we've innovated and now we can do even more processing power. Like, sure, that processing power might be used to run games, but it may also be used to process or run for the next, you know, space launch to Mars, you know, what have you. So allowing innovation to eventually occur on that at the cost of you no longer having sole rights to something, like, it is better for society. Just straight up. And I do truly believe that. But I also believe that people have to have incentives. I think incentive systems are pretty much where most things fall down in the world when incentive systems don't work. And that's a very loaded word, by the way. And I probably don't mean it the way that you think I mean it. Alright. I'm talking a lot about copyright right now. So yeah, in the long run, that's the process, right? You make something, you copyright it, you have a set amount of time to make profit off of it, which is to recuperate and make profit, like legitimate profit, off of the amount of time and effort that you have spent developing and creating said thing, regardless of what it may be. Content. Oh my gosh, why did it fire in the other direction? Because I'm trying to flee in the other direction is the answer to that question, but I said I need a teleporter and fast. But yeah, that is, in my opinion, the whole idea behind copyright. I'm pretty sure that is just strictly the reason behind copyright, but I'm not an expert in the subject, so I'm not going to claim to be an expert in the subject. Oh, very nice. I think, can I kill this from here? I'm actually amazed that didn't have a chance to hit me. So when you look at that incentive, like, some of copyright law makes sense. And by some, I mean quite a bit actually makes a lot of sense. I have no idea how I avoided that. Ouch. Okay, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I can't survive that. I only have 130 HP. I need to find a teleporter and fast. Alright, I just need to bail. I'm surprised there isn't a teleporter in this room. But yeah, that's... Whew. That was close. No thank you. No thank you. Our goal is experience, so I really just want to be clearing as much as possible. Yep. I needed to jump and dash, but I just reflexively dashed. I think this might be where we call the episode because it's been a while. Alright. I like Valkyrie. So yeah, I've been talking a lot, but yeah, so a company, the company Disney has made copyrights extend like 70 years past the original creator's death, which basically means that nothing ever enters the public domain within a reasonable amount of time, and therefore, like, it's just dumb. Like, it's just dumb. Things don't enter public domain basically ever, which means we never get to... And when I say never, I mean we rarely get to actually innovate on things because they're never in the public domain, which is actively bad. Like, that is just actively bad. So, when you look at that, you kind of go, copyright's a pain in the butt. I don't even remember where this conversation started. But it eventually comes... It basically just comes down to being able to copyright things is designed to incentivize people to create new things while also allowing for a window after which more innovation can occur, which thus incentivizes us as a species to further innovate everywhere. Because if your innovations aren't protected, you have no incentivization. You're not incentivized to do them, to put forth effort to innovate, and we wouldn't go forward. But if they were protected forever, which they kind of are, you end up in the situation where innovation doesn't happen because nobody has the basis to further innovate, which means that, like, hey, well, it's not even that they don't have the basis, it's that they're basically not allowed to start. So a lot of things like science, and you hear the phrase standing on the shoulders of giants, and the idea is basically you start where they finished, so you didn't do the work to get there, but you still got to reap the advantages. That is basically what we do entirely as a species. Like, the fact that you're sitting on a computer, which maybe you understand how it works, but I think statistically you don't actually understand how it works. We tricked rocks into thinking by electrocuting them. It's fucking weird. It's awesome, but it's weird. I could never have thought of how a computer works. I'm pretty sure. I'd like to believe that I could, but I don't honestly believe that I could. I literally can't cast my spell. That's fantastic. So yeah, it's just like, standing on the shoulders of giants is what we need to do, but copyright basically says you can't stand on the shoulders of giants. Even if you were to get there via a separate route, it would have to be separate enough that it doesn't fall under the copyright law. And, you know, that's just kind of how it works. But you have to be protected to innovate, and you have to allow for people to stand on the shoulders of giants and innovate, or nothing good is going to come of it. So, you end up in a weird situation. But, either way, I have been rambling literally for ages at this point. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed this discussion about copyright. I'm pretty sure I don't get a ton of comments on my videos, but if you want to talk more about copyright, please leave some comments. I have some very strong opinions about some things, and copyright is one of them. Right, I remember how this started. Using images in thumbnails. Man, the places we go. But yes, I will see you next time in a new video with a nice brand new spanking thumbnail that has potentially copyrighted work in it. But I'm given permission effectively to use it because it's good for video games to get publicity. Because you watching me play this game and yelling at me when I suck at stuff is good reason for you to want to play the game, which is exactly what the creators want and need. So, see you next time, and until then, keep your gears turning.